Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to my out-of-box review here for the absolutely massive premium Bandai HGUC II Neo Zeong. So we've taken a look at the original Neo Zeong sometime last year, and this is pretty much the same thing for the most part. It's just different colors. We've got a Shinanju Stein in there instead of the Shinanju, and then we've got some new parts up around the shoulder parts, so that's kind of where we're really going to focus most of the review, as pretty much everything else is kind of the same as with the original one. And I will give you guys a comparison of the two of them together. It's going to be the most epic thing ever captured on a Gunpla video on YouTube. And then I will also give you guys a look at the narrative Gundam inside here as well. I'll try that out. A couple people asked if the narrative Gundam from the Apex will fit in here, so I'll try that out here later in the review. I'm assuming that it does, because it's definitely a lot leaner than the Shinanju in there, so it should fit in there totally fine. But yeah, this kit does have a lot of little extra bits and things like that, so it's gonna take a little while to go all through those. But before we get started, as always guys, a huge massive thank you to USA Gundam Store for sponsoring this review. This is a massive kit, and couldn't have got this without their support, so big thank you to them for their support. Guys, do check the link to their site there down below. Anything you want there on their sites, P-Bandai stuff like this and other stuff, you can get 10% off there with my coupon code ZakuAurelius10, so check that out. The link is in the description. So let's start off by just going through all the little extra bits and things that you get along with this kit. So first off, I just want to go through some of the leftover pieces that you do have from this. As it is a P-Bandai kit, we do have some leftover pieces as per the usual. So we have a bunch of these, which are like the leftover paneling from the front of the shoulder parts there, where it's now got some new parts on there. You have a bunch of these little circular fan parts, which are around on different parts of the kit. So all those are changed for this new version, and so you have a bunch of these left over. These would make really good parts for just some scratch building stuff. And you do have a couple of the new version ones also left over just from a duplicate runner. You've got one of the giant thruster nozzles from underneath the back skirt there. You have one extra one of those. Left over from the runners of the original Shinanju, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the beam axes. You do have a couple of beam axe effect parts though that are meant to be for this kit, so you could use some of these with these, but you have all these leftover beam axes that you could use for some sort of kit bash. You have one extra grenade launcher. You have two of these included with the kit, and according to the manual you're only supposed to use one. The other one is leftover parts, but you definitely could use both of them if you wanted on the two beam rifles that we have. So we have two beam rifles, but according to the manual you're only supposed to need one, so here you have just some leftover parts with that. And then you have an extra set of hands here. Now no backs for the hands, no armor back panel for any of these. We have an extra set here of closed fists, holding hands, and one trigger finger hand. Alright, now getting into the stuff here for the actual kit. So you have these four parts here, which are used for connecting on the Psycho Shard effect part, which again I don't have yet, but I'm planning on getting that in the near future. When I do get that, I'll review that for you guys and we'll take a look at it here on the kit. And just to be clear that you do have the fuel tanks for the Shinanju Stein in there, but once it's connected into the second Neo Zeong, you can't have these connected in there, so you do have to take those out, as well as the shield connector piece for connecting the shield onto the arm. You just have to remove this in order to put the shield into the back of the second Neo Zeong there. We've got our two Shinanju beam rifles and the one grenade launcher. And you do have the leftover parts here to convert this to the Shinanju Stein narrative version's beam rifle. If you want, you just put these outer parts around this, or just without the camera there on the top there, if you wanted to make the Shinanju Stein's beam rifle. For hand options for the Shinanju, we've got a set of closed fists, which I've got there on the kit at the moment. We have a trigger finger hand for the left hand, which is new for this kit. We have an open hand here for the left hand. We have a set of holding hands for the left and the right, and then our trigger finger for the right hand as well. So in total we have 7 different hands, but only 5 hand covers, so you will have to switch some of those, unfortunately. We've got our two Shinanju bazookas, as well as the option parts for the collapsed form. And we've got our new beam axes for the kit. Now these are new because they have a longer extended handle on them. They also have a connector piece here, which I have already connected there on the end, and that is to allow you to connect them together at the middle to make an extra long, super long double beam axe there. Then from the Shinanju, we've got our beam axe effect parts for that, one short and one long. Kind of wish they would have given us 2 of this runner, so you could make them 2 short or 2 long if you wanted. So you have to make 1 short and 1 long. That's really your only option for if you want to have the double beam axe. And you do have this beam effect part here from the original Shinanju, but it's actually a leftover part. You can't use it with anything with this kit, but you could use that for something else if you wanted. We've got our 2 yellow regular beam saber effect parts for the beam sabers stored in the forearms of the Shinanju Stein, and then a couple of connector pieces for mounting the weapons and things onto the front of the shoulders. Let's go ahead and take a look at that now. So first of all, here's one cool thing that you can do with the bazookas. You can dual wield them. That's always nice. You just use the holding hands there and just hold those. Look a little bit weird, but it is pretty cool, I gotta say. But then we can remove those and just take out the barrels. And those just stick into the front of there like so. And then we can have them hold on to the double beam rifles for a little more of an all-out attack look here with all of that stuff. And then there with the double beam axe in hand as well. It is looking pretty cool, I gotta say. That extended super long beam axe on there with the double end does look really pretty awesome. I also should mention, here's where you have some of the stickers on the kit. Obviously these yellow bits are with stickers here, and then these red lining bits here and here. This is a red piece up around there, but these lines down below are stickers. You have a couple of stickers down on these parts under here as well. But anyway, so you remove this front panel from there, and you have a couple of connection pieces here, so you need to remove this one out here as well. You use this to reattach your axe into there, so you stick that on there, stick this back onto here like that, and then on the underside of our rifle where there's that little notch there, that's going to fit down onto here just like that. And here's where you use that extra piece that we had there before. You'll stick it onto the back of this panel, and when you plug it back onto there, it kind of is a little bit more open. So as you can see, it sort of gives the appearance that that panel is open, and then you can see up underneath there, you can see where the weapons are stored there. So that's a pretty cool little gimmick kind of thing there. You can store the weapons up underneath that front panel. Real quick, I should mention this just so I don't forget anything. You do also have this piece here, so when you remove the giant fuel tanks, if you want to, and just have this in like the lower position, you use this part here instead of that clear plastic rod to mount this onto the base below. And another thing I should definitely not forget is this massive sheet of waterside decals that you get for this. Very cool. Obviously all these big huge ones here in gray, white, and red are going to be for the second Neo Zeong itself. But then you have all of these littler ones down here which are all going on the actual Shinanju Stein narrative version, which is awesome. So you get waterside decals for that as well. So really, really nice that these are included in here as well. And just a real quick touch on some of the articulation, because there really basically isn't a whole lot. Like these front skirts can move up and down like a little bit, and the arms you can move around a little bit, you can rotate them, you can bring these forward, up, like that. I went over all the articulation in the original kit, and any articulation that this kit has is going to be exactly the same, whereas again, these front parts are really the only difference here in terms of different parts for the kit. So any of the articulation of the original kit is going to be the same one here. The same for the arms on the back, and we have all of the barrel hands that are stored down below there as well for those as well. And here they are, the two giant kits side by side. The original Neo Zeong being a little bit dusty there, unfortunately. But anyway, you got the narrative Gundam down there for scale, just to give you guys a sense of a normal size HGUC, just regular Gundam kit there. And yeah, they're pretty awesome, I gotta say. Having the two of them side by side is pretty amazing. And you can see some interesting differences too. I hadn't really noticed that the gray plastic used for like a lot of the parts around on there, including the base, is darker on the second Neo Zeong as well. So you'll have just that other small little difference too, aside from obviously the majority of the colors being all different anyway. But anyway, yeah guys, without a doubt, just the two of these kits are just nothing but pure epic. Alright, before we wrap up the review, again, like I said, you guys had asked to see how this is going to look with the narrative Gundam inside of there, so let me get the Shinanju out and we'll try it out. Well, for some reason the peg should be exactly the same size, and it looks like it should fit down onto the peg inside there, but it's not fitting on there for some reason. But I think we can just get it wedged in there sort of anyway. Well, there you go. I guess in comparison, the narrative's looking a little bit like a girly man compared to how the Shinanju looks inside of there, but it does fit in there sort of. Again, I can't really seem to get it down onto the peg inside of there, but it works anyway. It's in there. And so that is going to be about it for the review, guys. Sorry if some of the lighting or camera work or anything of this review was a little bit not up to par, just because this is a little bit difficult kit to review just because of the sheer size of it. So hopefully the review is pretty good and informative for you guys, and if you're interested in this kit, hopefully this answered any questions about it. It's a huge expensive kit, so of course I can't really recommend this just for everyone. It's not really going to be the most easily available either, being a P Bandai kit, and probably going to be a pretty limited one, I imagine, as well. As in, I don't think it's going to be one that's going to get rerun very often. But who knows, if you can get your hands on one and you're not paying a super absorbent amount, is it worth the purchase? I think yeah, I mean, it's just if you know what you're getting yourself into. If you really want this huge giant kit, then yeah, by all means. If you would rather just get the original kit and just plan on just like painting it white basically, you could basically do that. Obviously the parts are going to be a little bit different and you will have to, you know, you won't be able to match it exactly. But that would of course be just a maybe slightly cheaper option for you to get something close to this anyway. So that said, it is incredibly awesome and I'm super stoked to have one in my collection. If you guys do have any other further questions or comments, of course feel free to leave those down below. Thank you so much for watching and thank you for your support. Again, a huge thank you to USA Gundam Store for their support as well. And that is going to be it, guys. I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye bye. Hey! Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, if you want to check the kit out for yourself, you can head over to USA Gundam Store. Use that coupon code ZakuAurelius10. Save yourself 10%. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time. Bye bye.